Hi, I'm Marion from E equals VS, where we teach Russian creator knowledge and help you to become the master that you've been looking for and find your inner guru, your inner power. I'd like to address today a few of the things that people contact us about Russian creator knowledge and help to unravel some of the complication that people seem to have and give them a true idea of just how simple it is to master your consciousness. Now, we have a lot of people contact us and ask us, what is the Russian creator knowledge all about? What are the technologies of Grigory Grabovoi? And it's really hard sometimes to put it in a phrase, but I guess the best way to say it is that the Russian creator knowledge are a set of consciousness technologies or tools, and they're designed to expand your consciousness so that you see beyond just what is happening with your physical eyes. You develop a great connection to your soul and to your spiritual vision. And this helps to develop your consciousness, and the byproduct of that is healing of your physical body. So currently at the moment, we see that the collective consciousness is going through a shift. And normally when you're going through a shift, sometimes there's a lot of pressure, like a diamond is put under pressure. We often then go through this chaos in our internal world, which we then project into the external world. So what we've been taught mostly is if you don't like what's happening in the external world, then you need to spend 80% of your time doing something and changing it out there. But in fact, the reverse is actually true. What has to change is that 20% of what you're wanting to change in the external world has to be through some action, but the 80% has to be a change in your consciousness, a change that you make in your internal world. And you can do that through technologies, and you do that interacting with technologies that are around you all the time. I want to make Russian creator knowledge really easy for you to understand, so I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail. We use a whole lot of different elements in the Russian creator knowledge. We use color, which is in the fabric of our reality that we see with our eyes. We pick up color particles and then process it through our eyes. We work with geometric shapes. If you go into nature, you'll see that everything is in a mathematical equation, perfectly designed. If we use numbers, which are the fabric of our universe, again, because everything is in like a mathematical equation, when you upload data into a computer, it is in a mathematical formula. Now, when we talk about maths, I'm not talking about you have to be good at maths, because this is not what I'm talking about with numbers. The numbers carry a frequency, and they carry a vibration and a colour, and they also then change what's happening in your external world. We also use sound, so the power of what you say as far as numbers or the words you use carry a wave frequency into the external world. So your words are extremely powerful. And also we use the light. We have the light of our soul, which comes from the area of our heart, and it's what we emit into the external world. So we are helping to teach you to bring all those elements together so that you can make changes. And I'm going to show you some quick ways to do that today. So, as I mentioned, Russian creator knowledge is not just about the numbers, but this is the main reason that people contact us. I have many emails from people who say, I have diabetes, or I have poor eyesight. What's the number code to sort this out? I'm happy to give you the number code for healing, but it's a little bit more than just applying the number code. But let me explain how you can use number codes to make it easy and exactly what they are. So, these are the number codes from Grigory Grabovoi, and these number sequences are in the fabric, as I said, of everything in the universe. And the numbers have a frequency and a vibration, and each number sequence carries a very specific vibration. So the numbers together are like a code, unlocking some information that is not in harmony. And they're designed to harmonise any imbalances on many, many levels. So looking across physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. So these are spiritual technologies. And Grabovoi has developed over thousands and thousands of number sequences that go from health to looking at business to looking at psychological levels for plants, for animals. So there are many, many different number sequences that help you in your practice. And the idea is to notice the change, the areas of your life then that change because of using it. Quite often we ask you to start with things that have to do with your physical body where there is a impairment, because then with working through numbers, you're able to see quickly the changes. So let me explain how you can use a number sequence. You can write a number sequence in red pen, the red pen because it means fast action, on your physical body or on a piece of tape or on a piece of paper and place it close to your skin. We have a 1 centimetre vacuum around our body, and anything that's written on your body as far as a number code will attract to you. So if you've got the number code, for instance, as we have here for self-healing, then you'll track the information for healing in the body. The other thing that you can do is you can actually speak the word or chant the word, as I said, because sound carries a vibration. The other thing is that you can look in your imagination and notice, for instance, we've got a number code in front of us on the screen, which particular number stands out for you the most? Or I might ask it in a different way, which number are your eyes drawn to? It might be one or a couple. And what you would do is focus on those numbers until all those numbers look like the rest. They all seem to be the same. And in this way, you have harmonized information. One of the reasons why number codes work so quickly is because our consciousness and our soul understand this. The number code is light language that as I said, your spirit and soul understand. So immediately it starts going into action. So the way to read the numbers is just singly. So this would be 7, 2, 1, 3, 4, 8, 1, 9, 2. But you'll notice in some of Grabovoi's technologies that some of the numbers have a gap in between, and this gap allows information to flow, new information to flow. So when you see a number that has a gap, if you're writing it, you need to leave the number. But if you are saying the number, then you just take a slight pause as you move on to the others. So let's have a little talk about how this works. Well, we're in a fabric of time and space where all information is positive and negative. It's imprinted, if you would like, in the matrix of our reality. Now, as in a matrix, it's not static, it's always moving. So when we see information in our matrix as, for instance, a geometric shape, then what we can do is we can harmonize the information either through our imagination and using geometry, or we can use it using number codes. Here's an example of doing that. So every thought you create in your present reality also affects the future. So thoughts need cleaning because every negative thought stays near our body and affects the future events. So it's like we're in a matrix and our thoughts are staying in our matrix around us. In order to get rid of negativity and to prevent the problem from occurring in the future, we're going to imagine that in front of us we have a silver white colour sphere, and we're going to give an objective or an aim to this sphere. And the sphere is part of the geometry that we're talking about. It's the created geometry that we work with. There have been many sages and people over time that have talked about the sacredness of geometry, and so here's how we use it. We see the silver white sphere and we give this sphere an objective. This is a sphere of transformation. And inside the sphere, we set a number sequence. And this number sequence is to transform all negative into positive. So all negative information into positive. And we use information, not energy, because at first there is the raw code that comes through as light that affects the energy, that creates the energy that we then perceive mentally, emotionally, chemically, or physically. So we go back and deal with the raw information, the raw code. So we place a number sequence into the sphere 188848. Sometimes you just repeat this 3 times, or as I said before, you can look at it. Or if you're very good at imagining or sensing, you can imagine this number code written on the inside wall of the sphere. And once again, just focus on the number that seems to stand out, and then put your concentration with your intention at the same time for transformation from negative to positive. And then just observe when the numbers are all in sequence. Now, at the same time, you may feel some effect in or around your physical body. And this is giving you feedback that things are changing. So one of the secrets for using number codes is just not to write it or say it, but actually spend an amount of time, at least 2 minutes, just observing what changes that are happening. So, as I said, if physical effect, I feel a lightness in my body, or I feel a tingling in my body, that's telling you. Sometimes it's more obvious. So, for instance, you might be working on eyesight, and after your concentration, you look up and you notice, okay, everything looks clearer. So what you're looking for is change. The other question I have is, how long should I do these technologies for? How quickly will it work? And there's no right or wrong answer around that. It all depends on your consciousness level and how developed you are. So sometimes things work very quickly, and sometimes actually they need a little bit more time. So for instance, one of our students, Yelena, had surgically removed ovaries, and she worked on her ovaries at regrowing it, and it took her 3 months, and there was a process of doing that. So it is a process of training your consciousness to start to see in a new way. So we often talk about it's time to play, because we've all been told you have to work hard to evolve. And it's not about working hard. It's more about you engaging with your soul and learning how to play with the elements of our reality. So as geometric shapes or numbers and all that are around you. You will see that the whole world is awakening. And every time you work on yourself, you're actually affecting all of humanity. They're actually rising a notch. So for all of you who want to go out and help everyone else, I need to say first, you need to start with you. You need to harmonize you, and then that will affect the inner world. So remember, you're the guru you've been looking for, and don't forget to remember, it all starts with you. Thanks. Bye for now.